All right, today was a fun day. We just got done riding Kawasaki's 2017 Ninja 1000 ABS. Now, this is a sport touring motorcycle by Kawasaki in the lines of its Ninja pedigree. So it's designed for someone who's looking for a sporty-ish bike, but still wants some degree of touring capability and comfort. And this Ninja 1000 ABS hits that sweet spot very well. 2017, they've seen some mild updates to the bike. It's got new styling, LED headlights are a nice plus. The new IMU-powered traction control system is a very nice upgrade, as is the upgraded ABS. And Kawasaki's done a lot of nice but subtle changes to this bike. As always, I'm a big fan of the Ninja. I like the way this engine makes power. Sure, it's not the latest and greatest engine as used in the Ninja ZX-10R. The actual architecture of the engine is a little bit older in Kawasaki's lineup, but it gets the job done. It has a lot of initial power, has good fat mid-range. You know, up top, it still makes decent power. The thing pumps out about 122 horsepower at the rear tire, and that's nothing to scoff at. Transmission, very smooth. It's geared low enough where it accelerates really good in the lower gears, but you know, at six gear and top gear, you're not spinning a crazy amount of RPM. It works really well. Probably the only gripe I have in the powertrain department really is the engine is a little bit buzzy. Like we said, the architecture of the engine is a little bit older, and you feel that vibration through the foot pegs and the handlebars a little bit. It's really not that big of a deal if you're riding around town or going on, you know, less than 100-mile rides. But if you're going to ride, you know, from Oregon to Southern California or vice versa, it's a feature that's going to get a little bit annoying to you. It also doesn't have any cruise control or anything like that. And to be honest, you know, you're really not a touring bike unless you have cruise control. That would be a nice change that we'd like to see on this bike. But it does have an adjustable windscreen. It's really easy to use. You're not supposed to do it while you're riding, but you can because it's that easy. And the windscreen does a more effective job of putting the air over the rider. It almost looks like a double bubble style where it's got a concave twice, and it really pushes the air over the rider. It makes the rider cocoon a lot more comfortable. This is a bike that you're going to be more pleasantly surprised about when you're putting on the miles on it. As always, the ergonomics of this bike are really well suited to a guy like me. The handlebar is a little bit more upright, but still has a real solid, sporty stance. You really feel like you have a lot of command when you're behind the windscreen of this bike. Conversely, the rider triangle from the foot pegs to the seat, it's not too tight. My old man knees are always screaming in agony when I'm riding real sports bikes now. But this thing, it gives me that sport bike feel without having my ankles behind my head. It's actually a really comfortable riding position. The Kawasaki engineers also did a little bit of tweaking with the actual seat for 2017, and it is a little bit more comfortable. If you're logging serious mileage on this thing, you're probably going to want to look to upgrade it with a little bit more gel, a little bit squishier seat for a little bit more comfort. But you know, for day rides and stuff, it gets the job done. Suspension on this bike, I've always been a big fan of the way these things handle. They feel sporty, but not overly so. They're stable, they're quick to turn. I like that this suspension has adjustability. You can adjust the compression, you can adjust the rebound, you can adjust those settings on the fork. The shock's a little bit more basic. It doesn't have compression damping, but it has rebound damping, and it's got a handy remote preload adjuster. So there's a little knob there. You can just turn it, and it actually brings the rear ride height of the bike up or down, which makes it better if you're carrying a heavy load in the cargo cases or if you have a passenger. Nice feature. Speaking of cargo, this Ninja 1000 ABS has probably the slickest set of detachable hard cases in the motorcycling industry. Whoever invented these hard cases, or engineered them, I should say, did a really nice job. The bags come on super easy, they come off super easy, they're lockable so your contents stay safe when you're off the bike, and they swallow a lot of gear. I think Kawasaki rates them at 28 liters of cargo capacity, and you can fit a lot of stuff in there. You know, you can fit a full-size helmet in each case, which is saying a lot. And the coolest thing is that you can just pull them off with a quick swipe of the lever and bring them in your hotel room. You don't have to futz with bringing gear back and forth. Really nice setup. The only probably gripe I have is it's expensive. You know, these bags come as an accessory and they cost over $1,000. You do get what you pay for though, because they're well engineered, but a little bit steep in terms of the price. The addition of the IMU powered traction control and ABS does wonders for the riding experience. These Ninjas have always lagged a little bit behind the competition in traction control. You know, Kawasaki is one of the first Japanese bikes to employ it, and then they kind of didn't upgrade it for a while. Well, now they've upgraded it, and it's got all the bells and whistles. Probably the thing I like the most about the electronics is the new Bosch powered ABS unit. The ABS in this Ninja was always good, but now it's excellent. You can really use the performance of the brakes at a very high level without having to worry about any wheel skids, any front wheel lockup. Even when you're using them aggressively, the system is so well calibrated that it doesn't really cycle. It puts all of that hand pressure that you put in that master cylinder or conversely the rear brake pedal into the Bridgestone tires, and the bike stops quick. The ABS is a really handy thing where, you know, you're riding on maybe a sketchy surface, you're riding in the corners a little bit hot. The ABS will help you extort the braking performance and the actual machine performance in a easier way where you don't have to worry about scaring yourself. And I like that. The 5-way adjustability of the clutch lever is also new. It's a little bit gimmicky. You know, the clutch still only has, it's still a cable actuated clutch. So you usually see that kind of adjustment on hydraulic clutches, which this bike doesn't have. So it's kind of gimmicky, but it's nice. You know, it complements the front brake lever adjustability really well. I have medium-sized hands, so I like the lever a little bit more towards the bar, and this bike will give me that kind of comfortableness. Although the MSRP increased $200 on this bike, you're getting a lot more bike for your dollar. The electronics have been upgraded. It looks more mean, like the Ninja ZX-10R. The LED headlights are a big plus, and it really strikes a sweet spot in Kawasaki's Ninja sporting lineup. You know, the ZX-10R is kind of expensive at 15, 16 grand. The ZX-6R is cheaper, but this bike's only a couple $100 more than the ZX-6R. And if you're gonna be riding predominantly on the street, doing an overnight trip, you know, going riding getting out of town for the weekend, this bike's gonna be a lot more functional for that than a ZX-6R. And for only a couple $100 more, you really can't lose with this bike.